Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to our next episode. We are completing the Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In the previous episode, we saw how Mahodara, Mahaparshva, and all who accompanied Ravana, all of them died. All the Amatyas did. Ravana is now very angry and he now is attacking the core of Sri Ramachandra's army. The way he asks his chariot to be driven and the speed with which Ravana is coming, that itself will be bringing in terror into the hearts of most of the Vanaras. And many Vanaras were afraid when he releases Tamasastra from his bow, it will start burning Vanaras and they start falling down. Then Sri Ramachandra sees this and he realizes Ravana is going to come towards him in a few minutes. So he takes his bow out and he is ready to face Ravana. He comes very quickly towards Sri Ramachandra. Then Sri Ramachandra immediately does a Dhanush Tankara, which will almost equivalent to the sound of an earthquake. Just by listening to the sounds of Sri Ramachandra's Dhanush Tankara, hundreds of Rakshasas fall onto the ground dead. While Sri Ramachandra is getting ready for battle, Lakshmana, he wants to engage Ravana even before, and he starts the fight with Ravana and he starts firing arrows on Ravanasura. For every arrow of Lakshmana's, Ravana has an answer. And he breaks all the arrows that are there and he quickly passes past Lakshmana and he now starts engaging with Sri Ramachandra. The scene is like this. There are two waterfalls facing each other and the water from one waterfall is going and hitting the other one. Just imagine that scene. So that's how these two men are. Ravana is releasing arrows as if water is falling from a high waterfall, the speed which comes down. Sri Ramachandra is also releasing arrows like that, and they both are facing each other and they both are fighting each other. They both are getting covered by each other's arrows, and now they started moving across. They started moving in a mandalakara. They started moving in circles and they are fighting with arrows. The way in which they both are fighting, it's described very well in about 20-25 slokas here. Rakshasas and Vanaras, they have left the fight. They are just watching how these two people are fighting. And now Ravana releases Narachabanas, which are the toughest among the arrows, to hit Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra takes that and then he leaves Raudrastra. But it does not harm Ravana that much. Sri Ramachandra again takes another astra and he hits Ravana. And now Ravana, he breaks the astra that Sri Ramachandra sends. The Ravana takes out the asura astra and he leaves it onto Sri Ramachandra. From this astra, lions, tigers, crows, hawks, normal eagles, foxes, wolves, all of those animals, they start coming out of this one particular astra. Then Sri Ramachandra, he immediately neutralizes that astra with one of the astras that he has, and Ravana keeps releasing a lot of arrows onto him. Now Sri Ramachandra releases Pavakastra, and that Pavakastra burns down everything, so the entire Asurastra's effect is neutralized. And then Sri Ramachandra, now he doesn't stop. He quickly releases a number of arrows which are like in half crescent shape. Like this, he releases number of arrows, and all the arrows that Ravana was releasing, all of them are broken by Sri Ramachandra in this fashion. The moment Sri Ramachandra is getting an upper hand like this, all the Vanara Veeras, they come around and they start cheering up Sri Ramachandra, saying that you have done wonderfully well. Ravana releases one astra after the other and each of them are neutralized. Now Ravana gets very, very angry and he picks up one very interesting astra. That astra that leaves out various other weapons when it is released. But the moment he releases it, astra, we see shulas, we see maces, we see musalas, the thick blocks with which they hit it, the musalas, all these they come out. When that is coming out, Sri Ramachandra immediately takes out an astra called Gandharva Astra, and that astra neutralizes whatever Ravana has sent on him. Ravana becomes very angry. He takes out Saura Astra, which is like the astra of the Surya, and he releases it. Once he releases it, from Ravana's Dhanush, a lot of chakras come out. Sri Ramachandra sees it, he understands what Ravana is up to now, and then Sri Ramachandra takes individual arrows and breaks down all those discs. And then, with all the chakras gone away, with Saurastra also getting neutralized, Ravana immediately reaches out to normal arrows, and he hits 10 arrows on different body parts of Sri Ramachandra. And then Sri Ramachandra also takes out a lot of arrows, and he also returns the favor to Ravana. Now that Ravana is attacking Sri Ramachandra's body, Lakshmana intervenes here, and he immediately fires 7 arrows onto Ravana. These arrows, they were actually breaking away individual heads of Ravanasura. Then Lakshmana also uses one arrow to take down Ravana's Sarathi, and he starts cutting off each of Ravana's heads, but they automatically start regenerating it. In the meantime, while Lakshmana has engaged Ravana, Vibhishana goes, he takes out his big gada and he kills Ravana's horses. Now, all this was not needed because Sri Ramachandra was actually fighting. In a way, this was a not needed intervention. But then that's the Swami Bhakti of Vibhishana, and that's the Bhratru Bhakti of Lakshmana, that they intervened in the middle. The moment Vibhishana interferes, Ravana gets very angry. He takes out one Shakti from his Ratha and he throws it on Vibhishana. Immediately, Lakshmana breaks down that Shakti using 3 arrows. Ravana has actually released the Shakti to kill Vibhishana. Lakshmana interferes in the middle while the Shakti is traveling towards Vibhishana, and Lakshmana intervenes and he breaks that Shakti with 3 arrows. This makes Ravanasura more angry. In the meantime, Lakshmana immediately pushes Vibhishana towards safety. As Lakshmana is doing this, as he is pushing Vibhishana towards safety, Ravana gets angry over Lakshmana and he says, "Why are you interfering? I thought I'll kill Vibhishana, but you have come in the middle. Now take this." Saying this, he takes a bigger Shakti, a bigger weapon which is very, very strong and powerful, and he releases it onto Lakshmana. Lakshmana immediately takes the hit of that Shakti, and that hits Lakshmana in the chest. Ravana, while releasing the Shakti, he shouts very, very loudly. He does a huge noise and he releases that Shakti, and that Shakti was traveling towards Lakshmana with full force. Sri Ramachandra sees it and he immediately does an Asirvachana. He says, "Oh Lakshmana, you will be safe. Ravana's Prayatna will not succeed. You will be alive even after this Shakti hits you." But Lakshmana did not have an answer to that Shakti. That comes and hits him on his chest, and Lakshmana falls down. Sri Ramachandra immediately rushes to help. Ravanasura takes the advantage. He starts showering arrows. And now Sri Ramachandra quickly, on one hand, he keeps releasing arrows onto Ravana. On the other hand, he starts protecting Lakshmana. In the meantime, Vibhishana, Sugriva, Jambavanta, all the Vanaraviras come. Sri Ramachandra says, "Take Lakshmana to safety. I'll take care of this Ravana." And on one hand, he'll start having tears in his eyes because his brother is badly hit. But then he realizes that this is not time to feel sad. This is time to go after Ravana. So he starts showering Ravana with arrows in such a fashion that Ravana does not get relaxation. One, Ravana does not get relaxation. Two, it would become tough for Ravana to even breathe. That's how Sri Ramachandra starts hitting arrows at Ravana. In the meantime, when Sugriva is near, he hugs Lakshmana and he tells Sugriva, "Please take him to safety." They start taking it, and then he says, "Oh Vanaraviras, today I'm promising to you the reason why I have come here, that is getting fulfilled. In the next few minutes, you will see either me or him. I'll attack him to that extent where you will be only seeing either Ravana or Sri Rama in this fight, for whom I had to come all this distance, to get to whom I made Sugriva the king. That person is in front of me. I'm going to fight him." He also says Ravana is not going to live anymore if he is going to stay in the battlefield. And today, whatever I am going to do, Adya Ramasya Ramatvam Pasyantu Mama Samyuge Trayo Loka Sagandharvaha Sadevaha Tarshicharanaha. Today, what Rama is, what Rama's war is, everyone is going to see. Devat Gandharvas, Devas, Rishis, Charanas, everyone is going to see. That's how I am going to hit. Saying this, he starts showering arrows on Ravana. Ravana also tries to respond, but he is not able to, and the sound is huge. Ravana still is giving answers to some of Sri Ramachandra's arrows, not all of them. With Sri Ramachandra's Bana Varsha, Ravana was not even able to stay. He was not able to survive. Ravana quickly now runs back into Lanka for his own safety. That was how Sri Ramachandra hits him. Now you might be thinking it would be wonderful if this also was described very well, like the war that was described previously. But in original Valmiki Ramayana, Sri Ramachandra says, and after that Valmiki Maharshi says that he only released many arrows, and Ravana did not get even a breathing space. He was not able to retaliate. For some time he retaliates, but then After that, he flees. Now Sri Ramchandra is very sad. One, Ravana has run away. Two, he's sad because Lakshmana was hit by the Shakti. So he quickly goes back. He again looks at everyone and says, we have to do something. Even if I win over Ravana now, I will not be happy because I am losing Lakshmana here. We have to do something. And then one of the greatest shlokas of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana come out here. Dese dese kalatrani, dese dese cha bandhavaha, tantu desam napasyami yatra bhrata sahodaraha. In every country you might find a wife. In every country you might find some or the other relative. But then once you are born, you get a brother. Those brothers you won't get later in life. So saying this, he again feels very, very sad. He is crying. He says, how will I go and face Lakshmana? Please wake up. He is not even responding to anything. At that point of time, Sushena comes over there and he says, oh Rama, Lakshmana did not die. I am understanding that. We quickly need to get Sanjivaniparvata to do the chikitsa. So, oh Hanuman, quickly go and fetch the Mrita Sanjivani, Visalyakarani, Sandhanakarani, all these things you go and get. Then Hanuman goes there again. He again will have a trouble in identifying those aushadhas. So he brings the entire mountain again. Sushena now comes up. He actually climbs the mountain here. He picks those herbs and he comes and he does the treatment to Lakshmana. And Lakshmana wakes up as if he has woken up from the sleep. Sri Ramchandra is happy, but Ravana is tensed. And now how will this war go ahead? Sri Ramchandra is extremely happy that Lakshmana is awake again. All the Vanaras are happy, and thanks to Mrit Sanjeevani, all their wounds are healed due to the great Aushadha air that has come in. Hanuman now takes back the mountain, keeps it in its original place, and comes back. And then they all get ready for the war the next day. Now, what is going to happen the next day? That we'll be seeing in our next episode. Sarve bhavantu sukhiनः, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadraणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्, सर्वं श्री साई स्मरणं शरणं अरविन्दार्पणमस्तु. स्वस्ति. जय श्री राम.